Albert, say it.
Yeah, you too.
Rip to boiled water. You will be missed.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Hey everybody, welcome to Humpday Horror, the Wednesday video where I talk about all things horror and horror related. I'm Mac, and today I have a special guest, and this is Albert.
Hello.
This is the ghost hunter I've been talking about for the last couple weeks. We're going to talk about the Paranormal Activity movies today, and their authenticity, and I don't know why I said it like that, but their authenticity, how closely they are to like real life possessions and hauntings, and then we're just going to talk about how terrible the sixth movie is, because holy shit, it's hot garbage.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough, buddy.
It's rough, buddy. So I actually knew Albert in, like we known each other since we were like 15.
A long time.
Yeah, like the longest time. I'm gonna insert a picture of us in high school.
Nah, it's cool.
I'm gonna.
Nah, you can take it down.
I'm gonna put a picture of us from college too.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, like, you don't have
This is
to.
it.
This
Let's
is,
do this one.
like, we all have a past. Okay, so just tell us for a second, like, how you got into ghost hunting and like how long you did it.
Dude, the first season of Supernatural just come out, and me and one of my buddies were super into it. We were like, dude, this is fantastic. And we were like, because they would say stuff on the show like, oh yeah, this is how you do it, or like we researched it, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. And so we were like, yeah, you gotta bless the water, obviously. It's like, yeah, salt, that'll keep demons out. And so we were super into horror stuff, so we'd go to like like places that were like, you know, haunted or whatever, and then we'd take our holy water that we would do prayers over and our salt, and we'd just be like, yeah, here we are at the haunted circus or whatever was over there, or like, you know, these haunted trails, and we're like, but it's okay because we got our salt.
I love whenever people who like are going there like purposely for a scary YouTube video, like even though it's supposed to be scary as hell, they're like, okay guys, today we're in like the clown forest of America. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't hit that subscribe. Turn on post notifications, guys. We might not make it through the night. Like
I love that we might not make it through the night as it's uploaded 2 days ago.
It's like updated July 4th. We might not make it through the night, guys. He's already put like 4 vlogs up since then. But anyway, yeah, so like did you ever like, I know it started out kind of like for fun, but like did you ever like capture anything for real? Like,
so like going out and stuff, we never captured anything, but I swear like in that time of my life, like any place I lived, there was always weird shit going on. Like there was a house I lived in where like everyone was, even the people who like weren't super like into that stuff, they're like, dude, there's something in the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, did I bring something back? Oh no, my bad.
Oh shit.
Because I thought everywhere I lived after, like for a while, was haunted. So, yeah, I don't know. Never saw anything though.
You never saw
But
anything?
I felt it.
Okay, yeah. And there's like a lot of like right where it counts. And there's a lot to say in feelings. Like I personally have like ran into a bunch of like actual paranormal activity. Roll credits.
Title card.
Title card. And you know, it's freaked me the fuck out like every single time. And if you have been subscribed to my channel for like years, I put up a video about a ghost that used to live in my house named Arthur. I talked about a time with you one time on a paranormal video.
Wait.
Yeah, remember that time we were in college and you were like, let's go to my uncle's like rent house that nobody lives in and there's no furniture. And it was like me and you and Michelle and Odessa and Connor. And that was when you showed me Marble Hornets for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Slenderman hadn't blown up yet. Like it was like a thing, and you were like, "This is really good, I promise." There's like 63 episodes, but it's really good, I promise. And then you also wanted to play the Midnight Man game.
I did not want to play it.
Who wanted to play
maybe
it?
I did. I don't remember being.
Because I remember it being you. You were like, "You guys want to play Midnight Man?" And then I was like, "What is it?" You were like, "I'm not gonna tell you until you agree to play it." And I was like, Albert, tell me. And then
that may have been me. Actually, that sounds more like me now.
And then as soon as you were like, you have to cut your hand and they bleed on a piece of paper where you sign your name, I was like, I'm out, dog. I'm leaving.
That's because you were smart. I was not.
You weren't. Like, what the fuck? And you were like, okay, we gotta like turn off all electronics and like the house
was
was
a candle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you walk around the house with a candle.
Oh yeah, fuck that. And then there's like the hide and seek one too, which you play with like a doll.
Oh yeah, no
I
thanks.
don't fuck with that anymore.
I'm good on that.
Can
I'm
I say that
100%.
word?
Oh yeah, you
Okay,
can.
cool. Because I just dropped it.
I've said shit and fuck like 1,000 times already. So Paranormal Activity. It first came out in 2007.
Wow. That was
Yeah,
a long
I
time
know.
ago.
We were like freshmen in high school when it first came out.
Yeah. Huh.
And I remember like seeing the previews for it on TV, and it was like the marketing was actually kind of genius for it because they didn't really put scenes from the movie in the trailer. They had the recordings of the people in the theater reacting to it.
Yeah, it was just the reactions.
Yeah, which is like kind of reminded me of like Blair Witch and how they promoted their movie and how they were like the first people to like use online marketing
Yeah.
to promote their movie. So I was kind of hooked from the beginning. Like, did you see it in theaters or?
I think I did. I want to say I did. I remember I thought it was gonna be super scary because like it was like because I remember like they talked about like how the credits there wasn't really any credits or anything and like everyone thought it was based on something real. I was like, sounds like some shit I want to be a part of. So yeah, I think we did go see it in theaters. Yeah, it was the second one.
I saw all of them in theaters because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, well, I ended up seeing the rest in theaters. But I'm pretty sure it started with the first one.
Yeah.
And
how did you like? So did you not really find it scary? Like,
dude, I thought it was horrifying.
Okay.
Dude, I was scared shitless for like a week.
Yeah, I literally like. There's not a lot of movies where like I'm actually physically covering my face while watching them, but Paranormal Activity made me so fucking scared.
Yeah.
Like I was just oh fuck, I can't even like. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I didn't sleep. Like
No,
I
yeah,
genuinely was like, what if I walk in my
horrified.
kitchen and like there's a door closing and he's eating my strawberries or something? Like what happened?
It's like that feeling when you're a kid when like you gotta make the run down the hall when you gotta turn off the light. You're like, all right, I'm gonna turn on the light. I'm gonna sprint down the hall into my room before the demon gets me. And all of a sudden, I felt like that again.
Yeah.
At like 19.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna leave the lights on.
Well, we
Call
were
it.
14 when this came
Were we
out.
14?
We were 14.
Okay, well there you go.
That just shows like how old we see ourselves. Like I was fucking 19, dude. We're like 14 walking to class.
Dude, yeah, because I remember being in theater and like it just being so quiet. Like when things would happen, everybody's just like not breathing, and something would happen. It's like,
And that says a lot for us because like we were dumbass teenagers, and like that's the movie that you go see with all your friends on like a Friday night, and you're just loud in the theater for no fucking reason. Which, by the way, I hate you guys.
You're not cool.
You're not cool.
We weren't cool. You're not cool.
You're not gonna kiss that girl any faster just because you're being loud in the theater. Stop it. Just go in the parking lot and make. Shut up.
I'm just saying.
You might.
Little homies out there. Shoot your shot.
Oh my god, Albert. But anyway, so I really liked the first one. There were parts of it that I didn't really think were like, okay, well this is a stretch, like for the paranormal side. Like I've actually seen the tracks, like you know how I remember they put the powder on the floor and then they saw the tracks. That's actually been done in real life, so like I've seen that on other videos and stuff like that. But like when the Ouija board caught on fire, I was just like, all right, guys, come on. You could have left it. You could have just had it move, you know, like because it moved and then it caught on fire, and I was like, that's a stretch. Do you remember this?
I do, but like I almost disagree because like you hear about like spontaneous combustion and stuff, and like people just lighting on fire, like things lighting on fire. Because I've seen that like stuff before too, and like videos and stuff. So that wasn't too far out there for me.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it's just because I just didn't look into that. But like, you know, for me, I was just like, it would make more sense if like a person, like an arm would like catch on fire. But like the Ouija board, I'm just like, well, it also depends on like how strong the demon is too. Like based on like of the shit that we've looked into and done, it's just kind of like all of the paranormal stuff really depends on like, is it a residual haunting? Is it a demon? Is it attached to a thing? Is it attached to a person? So like in this movie, it's attached to like Katie,
right?
And her sister, which is like fucking terrifying. Like Jesus fuck. Leave me alone, dude.
Boundaries.
Boundaries,
Please.
dog. And but yeah, like, so the authenticity in the first one I thought was pretty cool. And then I also thought that it was like really cool how they found the picture of her in the attic, and it kind of connected, that one picture followed through all the movies actually.
Yeah.
What was like the scariest part of that movie for you?
Dude, when she's like standing over Mika for like
Which like change it, dude. That's not how you
6
say her
hours.
name. Yeah, 6. She's just like wobbling,
Because
like standing
I
over him.
hate the thought of someone watching me when I sleep. I hate
Yes.
not being aware, basically. Like I hate the thought of me sleeping and then someone like rummaging around or being like.
Because it freaks you out. Like, even if, like, I remember when I was little and, like, my mom would come in my room when I was asleep, and I would, like, wake up, like, almost shitting myself. Cause it's like, who are you? Like, what the fuck? Get out of my space. Like, when I'm asleep, I want to feel like I'm in one of those, like, space capsules.
Yeah, right? Like,
where, like, no one's in my space.
Me.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, I did not like that. Because, like, if I woke up and saw that, someone's dying. I'm killing someone, either them or myself.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going out, because I'm like, no.
Like,
no.
dog, I'm done. Like, I'm out.
Deuces.
Like, yeah, like, whenever she was standing over him and, like, watching him, that was, like, really, that was not okay.
It was super unsettling. To, like, me, that was the most, like, paranormal, any of that, out of the way, any of that. That is horrifying to me.
Yeah.
Just someone standing over me watching, like, nah.
Yeah, no, and, like, that's been done a couple times in movies, like, kind of in Friday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, whenever she's, like, in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And he's, like, in there, like, being creepy with her. And then, like, in Black Swan, I don't know if you saw Black Swan.
I did not.
There's a scene where Natalie Portman's, like, laying in the bathtub, and, you know, they masturbate a lot in that movie. So, so that's what she was doing. And if you've seen Black Swan, it's, like, dancing and masturbation. That's pretty much the movie.
Should watch this movie.
You should. Mila Kunis eats her out, so you definitely should.
Definitely gonna watch that.
So it's decided. So yeah, and then she's like gonna do that, and then she like the whole movie about Black Swan is like she thinks that she's seeing another part of herself, like the evil side.
Okay.
And so she like wakes up and like it's like herself smiling down at her in the bathtub. Like she closes her eyes, she's not there. And then she opens her eyes, and it's like an evil version of herself. And the worst part about it is like she's underwater when she opens her eyes, so it's like a really
like
distorted.
My 2 worst fears. One.
But she's also, you know, masturbates, so it's like, what are you into, girl?
Yeah. Freaky shit.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway, this is not about Black Swan and the amount of masturbation that's in the movie. Yeah, so like the scariest part about the first movie for me was probably whenever like after she's like possessed, and like the night before she wants to leave the house, and then like the day that they're leaving, Mika's like, let's go. Like, why are you fucking laying in bed?
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I want to stay. And then he's just like, bitch, you're not making any fucking sense. Like, you wanted to leave last night, and he leaves the room, and then
That's any relationship ever, too.
That's
Like, but you just said, yeah, but I changed my mind. What the fuck? So honestly, I passed it off as that. I was like, oh yeah, that's typical.
Because, like, honestly, Katie, you were literally clutching a cross to the point where your hand was bleeding.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday, and then now you're laying in bed. The beds are by the door. Get up.
Let's go.
Get up before I flip this mattress, bitch. Like, but yeah, and then he's like, bitch, I don't know why you don't want to fucking leave, blah blah. And he like leaves the room, and then she just goes, it'll all be better now. And it's like 2 voices talking. That's the part for me that fucked my shit up. I was like, oh, bitch, there are 2 of them in there.
There are 2 of them in there.
She got both of them in there.
She got both of them. Dude, yeah, there was a lot of really good moments in that first one, and I think it was a good, like, setting the stage for everything. Mm-hmm. I think they did a great job with the found footage style. Mm-hmm. Having like the cameras like set up in places and having
because they had like a reason for the cameras,
right?
Which we'll get into later about the reasoning for the cameras.
Good, because I want to talk about.
Yes, that we're gonna talk about that. I'm mad.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a good reason for the camera. There's a reason why there should be night 1, October whatever the fuck, 2006, and yeah, so I thought they did the found footage thing pretty well.
Yeah.
The second one was, it was a sequel. It wasn't bad.
It felt like just, not bad, not better. It was just like, it kind of just felt like the same movie again, just different.
Just more shit.
Which it kind of technically was. It was just kind of like the other side. And then, like, I guess it was a prequel too. Which is a whole weird thing with their timeline.
Yeah, their timeline's kind of like, you guys are on crack. It's literally like, okay, because in college when I would write papers, I never wrote the paper. I would think of what I needed to write paragraph-wise and write paragraph by paragraph. And then later on I would go and order the paragraphs.
Oh.
And sometimes I would even write the conclusion first. So I could... I don't know.
Weird.
I know. I don't know why I did that. If you did that, please let me know, because holy shit. And so that's what this movie felt like it was written like. This whole franchise just feels like it was written like how I write papers in college. Like, you're like, okay, I like this concept. Let's make the movie and then somehow tie them together. We'll figure it out, guys. Like, that's what the whole thing kind of feels like. But they ended up kind of nailing it in a way, in my opinion.
See, to me, it feels like they wrote one paragraph, turned that in, wrote another paragraph, turned that in, wrote one more paragraph, and like, but that doesn't make sense in the first paragraph. We'll make it make sense in this paragraph. Turn that in, and then they came up with another paragraph, and they're like, yeah, fuck those paragraphs, let's make this one.
And then they were just like, here, teacher, put this together. She's like, I can't read your mind, though.
He's like, no, just here, I'll make it make sense in this paragraph.
You got it. Like, that's what this... But in a way, because we're kind of like left to our own devices of like how we, like, there's a very clear line of how it connects.
Yeah.
But also you can have your own opinions on like which order the movies are supposed to go.
Yeah, I mean it does like overall tie in pretty well. I think it's more just like there are little nitpicky things I get annoyed with. Which I guess we can talk about like when we get into the later movies. But no, yeah, I think like
I thought the first three were pretty solid.
I thought, the first three I thought were really good. Like, I thought those three alone were like a really good story. And, but it is funny because they're released 1, 2, 3, but like chronologically, it's like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
So I remember watching, I was like, oh, we should keep going back, huh?
Yeah, I'm like,
right, we're just gonna go back to dinosaurs eventually. Like,
are we doing a Star Wars thing? Are we gonna pull in like an Exorcist 3 and go back to like some mummy tombs and figure out where this demon came from? Like, okay. But yeah, so like the second one, I don't want to spend too much time on the second one because it's like you said, it's kind of the same movie.
Yeah.
That's when Katie really like gets into her neck breaking stage.
Dude.
Like, she fucks that dude shit up.
She was on a killing spree.
She really was. She was just like, hey, I know you're watching TV, but like,
good night.
Good night forever.
Hey, you look tired.
You look tired. Let's fix that forever. Like, God.
That was a cool reveal, though.
Yeah.
She walks in, you're like, oh.
Like, at the beginning, you think, like, why the fuck is this bitch in your house?
Yeah.
And then you see that Mika's still alive, and you're like, oh, so this is a prequel. So, like, the way they kind of unfold the time in this is interesting.
Yeah.
And then, so, like, obviously I'm going to put a spoiler alert somewhere in here, but, like, spoiler alert, the demon is actually attached to her younger sister, Christy.
Right.
And she, like, the dad is like, I don't want this fucking shit in my house. We're gonna give it to Katie, because fuck Katie.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, what? Like, I get that that's, like, your only option, but also how fast he made the decision. Like, damn, what did Katie do to you, dude? She was always so nice, and she wore a bikini in front of you guys. Like, what's going on, dude?
He was like, I gotta make a decision. Well, yeah, fuck it.
Fuck my sister-in-law. Like, Jesus.
I mean, man had to make a choice.
Yeah, he did, you know? And, you like, okay. But, you know, it was either die or die faster, so.
Yeah. Do you want to die now or do you want to die later? He's like, I choose later.
If you're gonna, if you choose not to transfer it into Katie, because that's essentially what they did, is they just transferred the demon to Katie.
Right.
If you don't transfer it to Katie, then you're gonna die that night. So you might as well, like, let's take it one more day on Earth, you know?
See, and I like that because it gave a reason to have a second movie, and then, like, obviously it explained everything, like, as a prequel. You didn't necessarily need that, but it was cool to see it. But then having that, like, transfer and stuff, and it's like, it basically gave the second movie a reason for being.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool idea. So.
Yeah. And I thought that, like, and my biggest thing with, like, if you're gonna keep making movies, let's do something different with them. Like, Even just like slight things like the pool cleaner coming out of the pool. I thought that was a different touch. Because we had more cameras this time. It was a bigger area.
Yeah.
And then we also had the dog, which the dog didn't die, so good. I was gonna I can't say riot in the streets anymore. But like, yeah, like, but like, I was really gonna like, I don't know, punch Jason Blum in the face if he made the dog die. But yeah, so Paranormal Activity was like, 2 was a pretty good like prequel sequel.
Yeah.
The third one and the fifth one are honestly my favorites in the franchise because I think the third one could be like a standalone movie, honestly.
So, the third one, I really like the third one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were too stuck on like the whole found footage thing and stuff. Because I would have loved the third one to just be like a movie.
Yeah.
Because it was more like explaining everything and kind of showing like this coven and like the midwives and how like all it started. I think it would have been way better to just be just a movie. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't have to do all found footage. Although they did have some cool tricks, like when you put the camera on like the fan. Like,
yeah, I thought that was
really cool. But like I thought because of its story, like it was a good enough story. I wanted it to just be a movie.
Okay,
and
yeah,
I thought
that
they were
makes
just like
sense.
too stuck on this whole found footage thing. And by this time, it was getting old. Like it wasn't
It
horrible. yet,
was.
But it's like, okay, we get it. Change it up. Do something else.
Yeah, but my favorite part of the third one was that like they implemented Bloody Mary into it, which I thought was fucking dope. Like that, like of all the scenes in that movie that I remember, besides the end because it fucking terrified me, was probably whenever like. So like at one point Christy gets sick because she tells the demon like, "Hey, I'm not gonna like basically fuck off, dude."
She's like,
and
no.
then the demon makes her really sick, so they have to take her to the hospital. And then they have the dad's Dennis. He's not their real dad. You're not my dad. They have Dennis's photography assistant Randy come over, and he watches Katie. And while they're on at the hospital, Katie's like, "Let's play Bloody Mary," and he's like, "Cool." So I kind of think that it's like a good sign of the times because that's whenever people started getting like, you know, that was a weird time. 80s were a weird time.
They were.
And so, and like, it's really cool. If you haven't seen Paranormal Activity 3, just please take the time to go see it because like Randy gets like fucking bit on the side while they're playing Bloody Mary, and then like this is the first time you actually kind of see something. It passes by the door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he's smart.
Yeah.
He was like, "Dude, fuck this. I'm out," and that's why he lives. So
That's why he lives.
When shit starts going down, just leave.
Be a Randy.
Be a Randy.
Be a Randy, not from Scream because he dies,
No.
but be a Randy from Paranormal Activity 3. But like, yeah, he really is like, dog, I'm out.
That's all I've ever wanted is someone to be smart in his movies. He gets bit. He's like, "Yeah, fuck this. See you
No,
guys.
I'm
Have
done.
fun."
I'm good.
That was exactly what I wish I would do, but I don't know.
I probably wouldn't. I'm probably dumb enough to be like, oh fuck, I kind of want to see what happens. Like,
So I like play a lot of horror games, and I realize I definitely get in that fight or flight mode because I'll either freak out and run, or I'm like, all right, motherfucker, let's go then. And then if I die, I die. Fuck it. But
yeah, that's like literally me playing Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Like, cause I didn't play Resident Evil like as a kid, cause I wasn't old enough. My parents wouldn't let me, and so then my boyfriend was just like, "Hey, you like horror stuff? I think you like Resident Evil 2." And I was just like, "All right." Not knowing at fucking all what I'm getting into. I don't know what the fucking Umbrella Academy is. I haven't seen the movies, even though they're nothing
Umbrella
like the
Academy?
games. Umbrella.
you said Umbrella Academy.
What is it?
It's just Umbrella Corporation.
What's Umbrella Academy?
It's the Netflix show, the comic.
Oh, ew.
You don't like it?
No, I'm just like,
Oh.
I'm like, why did I fuck that up that badly?
Well, I mean, it's Umbrella.
Umbrella.
I was like,
Thank you for correcting me because holy shit. Yeah, I don't know what the fucking umbrella thing is. I don't know. And like also, nobody in my stream let me know this wasn't just a fucking zombie thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, did you play Resident Evil 2,
Yeah.
the remake? Okay, yeah. Like,
no, not the remake.
Okay, well, there's a part where you're like, you think you're finally like getting somewhere, and you're like, cool. Whew. I killed all the zombies in this area. Nothing's coming after me at this point. Which, like, I know now you can just shoot them in the leg and run past them. But, like, I was panicked.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was like, cool. And then I opened the door, and it, like, for some reason the game was like, here's how you sneak. And I'm like, why the fuck do I need to sneak?
That's a weird time to give me that.
And then this fucking licker comes down from the thing, from the ceiling, and he's just like looks like Jimmy Neutron, has a big ass brain on the face on the. You don't remember Lickers? They're like on 4 legs, and they're like they don't have eyes.
I played too.
Okay, fuck. I was terrified because it's like a liquor is like this thing where it like crawls on the ceiling and it doesn't have eyes, like, but it has ears, so you gotta be real quiet around it, which is why you have to sneak. And the only way you can kill it is with a flamethrower. I didn't have a fucking flamethrower. I missed something and didn't get the fucking flamethrower. And also I was loud as hell. And I couldn't figure out that I could just run backwards. Because in my mind, I'm playing a fucking Mario game from the 80s and I'm like, oh, I can't go back. Like, so I just kept pressing forward and he's like fucking my shit up. And I'm like, everybody in my stream's laughing at me.
Nice.
God, it was so frustrating. But anyway, enough about Resident Evil 2. Yeah, so the third movie, Paranormal Activity. This is also the movie where they talk about the coven.
Right. That's where you're gonna just like the midwives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a hint of it with the mom, with like the grandma, and when they're like making the bed. And
She's so creepy.
yeah.
Like off the bat, she was creepy as fuck.
Any grandma that just like has long ass hair and doesn't fucking brush it,
Yeah.
like you're haunted.
You are haunted.
You're haunted. And she's like, they're like making the bed, and first of all, she's dogging on my boy Dennis. She's like, well, did he go get those videotapes with your credit card? Like,
Oh yeah.
leave him alone. Dennis is a wedding videographer. Wedding videographer? Yeah, I was like, why can't I say words today? He's a wedding videographer. He's out here doing his best. He's buying tapes. Imagine being a wedding videographer in the 80s.
Yeah.
Leave Dennis alone. Like, Jesus. And then she's like, well, are you gonna have another kid? You always wanted a son. And that was whenever I was just like Paranormal Activity 2 was the movie where I was like, this shit's about to get fucking real.
Yeah.
And then when she said that, I was like,
Here it is.
they're about to do some type of shit where they want the firstborn son.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like, and I remember thinking that in theaters, like, they want a son. They're gonna fuck Dennis up. And then she's like, no, Mom, I'm happy with my 2 girls and Dennis. And then next thing you know, Dennis's back is getting broken.
Dude, that was bananas.
It was.
I was not ready for that. I remember seeing him on the ground. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, he dead. Like, Dennis got fucked up. And man, that ending scene of the third one, that one's probably it's the scariest ending for me.
Yeah, when he like walks in the room with all the ladies there.
And he doesn't have the light on yet.
Oh god.
And okay, and I rewatched that one last night because I was just like, this is the one with the coven. I gotta make sure I get my shit right, know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
And like, there's like, I'm gonna try if I can. I'm gonna see if I can put it into this video. But there's like, as soon as he turns the light on, there's like a regular ass looking grandma in the scene. Like, she doesn't look creepy at all. She just looks like she's lost. Like,
she actually is. She was like, oh, these people will help me.
like, there's literally a grandma with like glasses, has a little grandma fro, and she's the only one that doesn't look scary. Like, everybody else is just like, and this grandma's just like,
This isn't bingo.
This isn't bingo. Where's Harold?
It's just some lady with dementia walked into this fucking coven. Like,
I guess this is what I'm
Sure.
doing now. Like, that part, it just cracks me up. Like, and I probably rewatched that scene like 3 times last
I need
night.
to go back and see this because I can't think of who you're talking about.
Oh my god, I have to show you like after this because it is so fucking funny, Albert. Like, she just was so long. Like, poor lady. But yeah, so going into the 4th movie, this was the one where I was like, okay, you're trying, but it's not working.
Yeah, this is the one that I think annoyed me the most.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad, but it did annoy me. Like, at this time, I was like, okay, I'm really over the found footage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Although they did some cool stuff with like the Kinect and like the laptops and all
But it was
that.
kind of like a whole ad for the Kinect.
Yeah, which I
That
was
was a-
super for the Kinect at the time too, so I was like,
Yes, put a Kinect in
I was
this.
like, didn't waste $50 on that thing. Like ghosts. I thought that was really interesting, but again, I was just like, dude, stop. Just stop with the fucking
Stop.
found footage stuff. Like, stop with the handheld cameras. Like, just make a fucking movie. And also, again, like, this one felt like the same thing.
The same
I was
fucking
like,
thing.
I'm
Like
over this.
another like rich ass white family in a mansion. And I'm like, can we get some diversity? Like, what's going on? Like, you think like you guys really trying to be oppressed?
They're like, see, we get haunted, which I mean,
In my big house.
my big ass mansion.
My husband's an anesthesiologist, but there's a ghost in my house. And he
it's
plays with
like-
my Connect.
I think they, well, now I kind of wonder if they did it on purpose. Because now I think about, like, every minority's watching this, like you said, like, it's just goddamn diverse. I want a poor ass motherfucker in, like, some shitty ass apartment. The marked ones. It's like, oh, shit, okay.
And the marked ones is actually where it got good.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
I almost wonder, I was like, are they actually geniuses?
I think they did it on purpose, honestly. They had to.
They're like, we gotta push this to, like, the very edge.
They're like, all right, guys, this is getting a little too. This is getting so white, it's almost clear. We got to do something. So I have two main problems with the fourth one.
Okay.
The
Think there's
first
a lot of
one,
problems.
let's just talk about how they literally have no reason to be recording at all.
Yeah, I can't remember why they started in the first place.
I think, and like, if you watch it, the dad is like, at one point he's like, sees part of the footage and he's like, you guys are getting good with your Photoshop, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, neither of these kids are into Photoshop. So it's not like they're like film students.
Yeah.
And also, like at one point she's doing like whenever she gets stuck in the garage and the car turns on and tries to kill her, she literally is recording on her laptop. Like, so that means she's walking around with her laptop like this,
does that?
facing forward. Like, I heard a noise. Let's go. Like, and she's not on FaceTime with that dude either. So it's just like,
Yeah.
she just has her fucking laptop.
Again, yeah, it's just like, it's so much of it's so forced.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't have to do this.
You
could've
didn't.
just made a movie.
And when she's like trying to break open the garage door to get out, she like sets up the laptop where you can still see everything she's doing. So I'm like, you couldn't have at least put it askew?
She's like, oh my god, hold on.
Oh my god, the car's trying to kill me! Ah! Like, girl. So, yeah, you don't think they had a good reason to record either, did
No,
you? Like,
yeah, it was just like, stop, you don't have to anymore. Like, it's okay, we paid to see the first three. Good.
we're here at the fourth one, guys. We got it.
You brought us in, you didn't have to keep this up. Like, we're here.
We got it. My other problem with this movie, but also my favorite part of this movie, is Robbie, the little boy that they make you think is Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the biggest plot twist of this movie is that the whole, like, you're following, you think, a new family.
Right.
There's a girl, she has a brother named Wyatt, and there's a really creepy kid that, like, wears the same jacket every day despite the weather. And his name is Robbie, and he's just constantly wandering around the neighborhood, like, being creepy as hell, like, literally the definition of, like, a creepy ass kid. Like, at one point, he, like, reaches out to shake Wyatt's hand, and he doesn't shake hands like a normal person. He just stands there and he just goes. Like, rewatch it. It's so fucking funny. He's literally just like,
about that.
like, I'm ready to shake hands now because I'm a robot. Like,
Children of the Corn looking ass.
yes. And so at first I'm like, this motherfucker's Hunter.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's not Hunter. He's Hunter for sure. And so at one point, like, Robbie's mom, who we will get to that later, she has to go to the hospital for some reason. She's, like, sick. And so they're like, can Robbie stay here for a couple days? And the sister is like, this kid's creepy as fuck. Like, does he not have family or anything? And then the parents are, like, weirdly about it.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, well, you know, we need help. And I'm like, first of all, you guys are in California. Nobody is this nice in California.
For real.
Like, in Oklahoma, believable. 100% believable. Like, you're in the hospital, come over here, eat my food. Here's my social security number. What's your blood type? I want to make sure that we're prepared for something later in case I need to give you some blood.
Yeah.
But we're in California. Nobody's that nice in California. Yeah, like, everybody fucking hates each other in California.
Yeah.
And so, so for some reason the parents are really about it. And then Robbie slowly becomes my favorite part of the movie because he's just so fucking weird.
Yeah, just
He's just such
like,
a weird kid.
and it's almost funny because it's almost like it's just kind of like the weird kid at school who like sits alone and like eats glue. It's like maybe that's just all it is. He's just a little confused.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like if this were a normal ass movie, I'd be like, okay, well maybe he's just like a weird kid. But like for sure, I'm like, okay, well you're for sure haunted.
Yeah.
And so like my favorite part about this, which like is Robbie, but also ties into the fact that like I think the kids are the most natural actors in this movie. Like the girl and I think it's her boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember his name. They're pretty forgettable characters.
They were.
Besides the fact that like the boyfriend was funny.
Yeah.
Because like at one point, like Robbie is like being weird, and they're like, Robbie, why are you like? Because like they catch him like getting in bed with the sister and like snuggling her while she's sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then like at one point they're like running around the house for no goddamn reason, and so at one point the boyfriend's like, Robbie, like why are you doing this?
Why are you so weird?
And then Robbie doesn't even look at him. He just goes, he doesn't like you. And then the boyfriend's like, what? And like he's like audibly like upset. Like it's really like it's almost like the actor didn't know what the line was, because then he's just like, what does that mean? And then Robbie just goes, you'll find out. And then he just goes, what the fuck?
Dude, I would have been fucking out of there.
I would have been like, if you want to keep dating, we can still hang out at my house, but I'm not coming
the fuck over here.
No, as long as that kid is here, fuck that kid.
Where's the fucker? And I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back.
Dude, if some little kid didn't look at me and just like, he doesn't like you, I'd be like, dope, I'll leave then.
All right, I got it.
I don't want to upset him.
I can take a hint.
You tell him I'm sorry. Deuces.
I'm sorry I upset you, Tobias. I'm leaving. So then they kind of like reveal later that Wyatt is adopted.
Right.
And because Robbie is being a fucking freak and he starts drawing the coven sign on his body and like in his little closet. And it's just like, where are the fucking parents?
Dude, I can't remember the parents in this movie. That's how like little interaction there is, I feel like.
Yeah,
like I don't remember them at all.
I know that like at one point when I was like rethinking, because I was like I have to rewatch it because I don't know what happens to the parents. Like at one like they're there in some scenes, and then like Katie comes and like kills the mom, like drops her from the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Which like what kind of weak? You got glass bones and paper skin. You're gonna die from dropping from the ceiling? How tall are your ceilings?
I mean, it's a big house.
That's true, but like, come on. Like, if someone dropped me from the ceiling, if you land right, maybe you have like a broken knee, but like, where's Mythbusters? R.I.P. Grant Imahara, by the way.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, but like, for real, where are Mythbusters in this? Like, you can't, like, I'm pretty sure if I were stuck on this ceiling and I just dropped, that would just hurt.
Yeah. That's pretty sure.
But like also, this is not a very tall ceiling, so like I don't know, you know, like this is. I'm serious, Mythbusters. Like, please come back.
Revive it.
I need a Paranormal Activity episode. But yeah, and then like the dad, he just kind of disappears. Like, because at the end, she's just like, this is because like I'm skipping ahead. Like she's like, because at one point, whenever Robbie is drawing the symbols on Wyatt,
right.
That's when Wyatt is like, my name's Hunter. And then that's whenever I was shook. Like, I was just like, what do you mean you're Hunter?
Excuse me?
And then I was shook at the same time because I was like, the first two took place in New Jersey. We're in California. And Katie walked off with you in the second movie.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we get here? Why are we in California? Who the fuck is Robbie? That's my biggest question.
So many questions.
Who is Robbie? Because like he never shows up again unless there's like an alternative scene at the end of the second movie, the sixth movie.
Yeah. See, I just assumed he was like another demon kid.
But like they connect Hunter
Right.
to even the little girl in the sixth movie. She was born on his birthday.
Yeah.
There's no correlation with Robbie. Like Robbie's just like.
I think he's just some like foot soldier demon kid. Like,
is he like somebody else's firstborn?
Well, because I thought he was there to like bring Hunter back and be like, hey, remember your Hunter? Let's go back to the.
That would be the only thing that makes sense.
I thought that's what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a lot of things about this franchise that don't really make sense, because, like, they really, like, heavily imply that they need, like, a firstborn son in the first 3 movies. And then it kind of gets muddled in the 4th movie where you're like, who the fuck is Robbie, and how'd you get here in California? And then going into the 5th movie, they talk about how the demon waits until you're 18 years of age to possess you. But Hunter is already possessed as fuck. Robbie is clearly possessed as fuck. They're not 18.
No, right.
What's the correlation, you know? It's just
yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of, like, loose ends that they were just kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, use your imagination.
like, whatever. You know, up to audience interpretation.
It's up to audience interpretation. Just figure it out. But anyway, so, like, the dad doesn't really die. Like, he just is like she's running across the street to go get Wyatt/Hunter from Katie's house, because we reveal that Katie's Robbie's mom, if you want to make whatever sense of that you want. And so she goes over there, she finds the coven, and then she gets fucking got. She gets murked, like, real fast. But, like, as she's walking through the gate, the dad's like, I'm gonna go around the back. For no goddamn reason! You just left your daughter!
He wasn't going around the back, he's like, fuck this.
I'm out. And, like, there's a misplaced joke at the end of the 4th movie where it's just like, she's running across the street and a Prius almost hits her and she goes, fucking Prius? What are you, Paranormal Activity 4?
Dude, they don't know.
God! And then, like, then she gets murked and we never see the dad again, and then we don't really ever see Robbie again either, which, like, arguably Robbie's the best part of this whole franchise. Because, like, imagine that kid growing up. He's just like as an adult in real life, like, hey, I heard you were in movies, dude. What'd you do? He was like, I was Robbie in Paranormal Activity 4. It's just like, that's like saying I was victim number 3 in Friday the 13th Part 8. Like, what?
Like, oh, so you really aren't an actor.
Yeah, and then, like, only, like, people who are really into, like, horror movies will be like, it's Robbie from Paranormal Activity 4! He has a job at Comic-Con for the rest of his life.
Yeah. As Robbie from Paranormal Activity.
Like, literally, like, Nick Castle, the first shape in the Halloween movies, he, like, still steadily goes to Comic-Con. Like, he's on that app Cameo. Like, he's making bank still as just the shape from Halloween.
That's amazing.
I know. I want to be that, like, I
want that
be
level of fame where it's like, you didn't really do much, but damn, are you famous.
But I was fucking Michael Myers in the first Halloween movie, so... And even the ones from, like, the 3rd movie. Like, he's known for the guy who plays him in the 3rd movie is known for being, like, the one with the terrible Michael Myers mask.
Nice.
And people just want to take pictures of him at Comic-Con because he was the worst Michael Myers.
Can't be the best.
Damn.
Be the worst.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was the worst Michael Myers, so... You want that autograph and pen?
That'll be $10.
Would you like a picture? Paranormal Activity 5 is my favorite of the entire franchise. What do you feel about it?
Besides the first one, it's the most memorable to me. Mm-hmm. Because they really changed it up. New setting, which was cool.
Yes.
The whole new cast, like, whole new, like... It felt like I guess technically it was a spin-off, but, like, it felt like a spin-off too. It felt like a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Still found footage, which was annoying to me, but I was like, alright, I guess we're in for this ride then.
It still made more sense for them to record in this one than it did the 4th one, though, because, like, in this one, you know, like, he sees his friend get a camera.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, cool, I want one.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, they're not a rich-ass white family. Like, he actually has to, like, save up money and go get a camera. And then he, like, wants to record. So, like, still... Stop recording everything.
Yeah. Like, it didn't make sense, at least in this one, but I'm like, also, could have just not done it. Filmed the damn movie.
You could have also not. That's an option.
It works, but you didn't really have to.
Yeah, like, okay. Alright. I'll give you a pass.
I was like, we'll see. I'm already here. I started it, but might as well finish this journey. Let's go.
I feel like that's how everybody feels, like all the Paranormal Activity fans feel. They're like, alright, let's fucking sit in for the 7th one that's coming out. Fuck.
Is there gonna be a 7th one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. I have some details on that.
Right.
But yeah, my favorite thing about the fifth one is that, like, I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times, they did it different.
Yeah.
They had, and these characters were, like, so relatable. Like, they acted like how you would actually react in situations like this.
Yes. And I especially felt very connected to these characters.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's just how I grew up.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same
That's
thing.
exactly how we would have done it too.
Exactly. And I love the part whenever, like, Hector and Jesse are our main characters in the fifth one, and like they just do stupid shit. Like, it starts out with them. He graduates from high school, and they have like a little party for him in the courtyard at their apartments, and you know, like it's really relatable. And then at one point, like, they get in a laundry basket and they go down the stairs.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah.
That's
I
pretty
feel
accurate.
that.
Yeah, like, alright. Like, that's some shit I would do as a kid, for sure. Like, if I'm 18 and stupid and I'm still on my parents' insurance, I will definitely go down the stairs with a laundry basket, see what happens.
Exactly.
Don't
I
do
like
that.
that they were older. Like, it's not adults, it's not little kids, it's like teenagers, like people our age at the time. And I was like, all right, yeah, I get this.
Which is crazy because the first one came out when we were 14. This one came out when we were, I think it was either 2012 or 2013. So we were about the same age or a little bit older as the people in this movie. Which I like the way they did that. They were really smart with that. They made it really relatable.
Like, how old is our target audience?
Yeah.
All right, make them that age.
So I also think that this was the most, besides the first one, the most accurate representation of actual paranormal activity. Like, we didn't have any motherfucker running around on a Connect. There was very little talk about the coven until, like, it became important and relevant. And it was almost like the first, I want to say, like 45 minutes to an hour, people thought it was like its own movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I did. I definitely thought they're like, oh, okay, they're just, you know, spinning off now and doing their own thing.
yeah, and I thought, which, like, I initially didn't want to go see this one because I was so attached to the first three. We're gonna pretend the fourth one doesn't exist. Just add it to the pile where Spider-Man 3 is. Just gonna throw that over there. Like, I didn't want to see it because I was like, well, I really like the Katie story and, like, where they were taking that.
Yeah.
But somebody was like, no, they connected. And I was like, how the fuck are they gonna, what? So then I was like, well, god damn it, now I have to go see it. And I'm glad I did, because it was like, they brought the franchise to a high that I didn't think they could take it after the shit that was the fourth movie.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was talking about.
It was different. It was better. It was a new take. They acted like us. Relatable, accurate.
Oh, okay. So
We'll get there.
we're getting there. And I didn't even smoke this morning, so I'm just tired. But anyway, so I really, and also, like, at one point they, like, go to a party and they pick up girls, and which I think is, like, really funny because no one asks why they have a camera. Like, first of all, you're not invited to this party. Like, and that's the perfect fucking place to get beat up.
Yeah.
Like, the perfect place to just get your shit rocked because people don't know you. And not only you have the ball sack to, like, walk into this party you're not invited to, but to also hit on women that you didn't invite. Like, other people invited this women, because, you know, like, how parties go when you're 18, like, hey dude, bring some girls.
Yeah.
Like, these girls were for other people, and you just fucking walked up and were like, what's up? I'm here with my camera.
Dude,
Don't ask questions.
the confidence.
The confidence.
that's how I relate to someone who's like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I want that kind of ballsy attitude.
I need that energy. Like, dang. And so this is where it starts to get kind of, like, fucking real. Like, for real. Because he brings, so, like, earlier in the movie, they, like, see some, like, witchy ass shit, which I don't want to, like, talk about it in detail too much because I love this movie so much. I think you should just honestly take the time to go watch the fifth movie. You can watch it by itself, I think. I personally think you can watch it by yourself. And so like they do some witchy shit, and then a girl in their apartment complex named, I think it's Annie, she gets killed.
Yeah.
She gets killed, and so then like these dudes, like, you know, they're teenage boys, they're like, oh yeah, let's fuck these girls in the same apartment where there's still blood from that murder, dog. Let's fucking do it. Like there's still blood in there. Like, what the fuck, guys? It's coronavirus.
That's actually how it started.
Paranormal Activity 5.
It was Paranormal Activity 5.
And for some reason, this works. Like, Jesse gets his friend to leave. That girl gets her friend to leave. And he is, like, successfully going to fuck this girl. Which, like, okay, what are you into? Like, because she's, like, into it. Because if you remember, like, they're, like, on the floor. They're about to do it. And she's straight up in the movie. She's just like, I need you to fuck the shit out of me. And then, like, his reaction is so genuine and funny. He just goes, are you serious?
To be fair, anytime a girl has been like, yeah, I want to sex you, I'm like, really? So I get that.
Wait, really? This is working? Because his shit is like, that's what I'm saying, like, it's so realistic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she just goes, she like pulls him, she's like, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. And he's like, are you serious?
He's like,
and then she just goes, yes, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. And he just goes,
bet.
all right.
Kids are having sex way earlier now.
That's true.
Which I feel like every generation is just earlier and earlier, so
Yeah,
I don't know,
like,
I didn't really watch this probably.
You know, get on Neopets or RuneScape, take have a childhood.
I've done sex, but like, no, yeah, nobody knows what they're doing.
I've done sex.
I did it. I've done the thing. It's perfect that it's a guy and a girl talking about this, because I'm 100% relating to the guy, I get it, because he's like, do I have a condom? Well, I also didn't think I was going to get this far, so no, not on me.
But luckily we're in my apartment complex and my room is just upstairs. Be right back.
I'm stored away for just this occasion.
And she just like, she's just visibly upset. She's just like for a while on camera, she's just laying there like looking at the ceiling. Like legs still in the same position. She's just like, okay. And so she's sitting there and then like she hears some shit going on underground, and then she realizes there's a fucking trap door, basement door. I don't know if it was made or it was an actual basement, but like it looked fucking sketchy. There was carpet covering it, so no thanks. And then she pulls probably like the most unrealistic ass thing in the whole movie. Like she literally opens the thing and sticks her head in.
Yeah, man, that's...
So like, I get you're 18 and stupid, you're about to get some dick, but like clear your head. You're not a man. We can clear our heads faster, okay? Get out of there. If that were me, I'd grab my shirt and myself and leave. Nuh-uh. The ground's knocking at me. No dick is worth it.
The ground is knocking at me.
I'm good. So of course she gets her head grabbed and she screams and she runs away. And then we're kind of more introduced into Oscar a little bit more, which is their friend that they graduated with, who was involved with Annie, who died. And so then he's creepy as hell, and later on we find out like he confronts Jesse, and he's just like, he's like, dog, if you got this mark, like the same shit that's happening to me,
we chosen homie.
What's about to happen to you. And homie has like black eyes and there's like crinkled skin, like looks possessed.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, I'm like, I don't want to say that like when you're actually possessed you get black eyes and crinkled skin, but when you do get possessed, it is kind of a feeling of like you're not gone. It's just like something is inside, like It's like two people, like kind of like in Get Out when you're like a passenger and somebody else is really taking control.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this point when he's confronting Jesse about the mark on his arm, he's marked once. Title card. He's just like, it's kind of pretty accurate how he himself, Oscar, was able to like break free of this demon and be like, dog,
help,
help me, this is about to happen to you. The only way you can stop it is if you kill yourself. That's what he says. And so then he runs away, as a person does. He's just like, this happened to you. needs to chest out the door for some reason. Like, okay. And then Oscar, like, you find he jumps from the apartment complex onto a car.
Yeah.
Pulls a Child's Play 1 and dies. And to me, that was like, because, like, I don't know, have you ever seen a real possessed person in real life? Have you ever been around that? Or
Not
like,
in real life, no.
have you, like, what have you seen?
Like videos and stuff, like
Okay.
stuff from the Vatican and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've watched some of those tapes too, and it is really like, and like, you know, us being video people, it's really easy to tell when people are like, okay, well, good special effects. But like, genuinely with some of these videos that I've seen from the Vatican, I'm just like, anything, like, just the Vatican. I don't want to go to that. This is the name. That sounds like some shit that I either don't know about, like some smart shit I don't know about, or it's haunted, and it's both. So,
And it's both.
I'm good. But yeah, like, usually, and you know, like, my grandma in Jamaica was involved in what's called obia in Jamaica, which is like kind of like witchcraft / voodoo in Jamaica. And she was involved in that, and like also some of my cousins were involved in it. And some of the stories they would tell me was just like, it was pretty, it lines up. Like, you are kind of like, you're not gone, you're just kind of in the shell of your body,
Right.
you're not in control. Which you can also see in movies like The Exorcist and This Is the End, when Jonah Hill gets fucked by the demon.
Something not chill happened last night.
So, something not so chill happened last night. This is also the movie that introduces time travel. So
Yeah, that was weird.
Why don't you talk about that?
Well, okay, so yeah, because at the end it's like, how exactly? I know, like, Hector's running around and he like runs through some door, and then all of a sudden you realize you're back in Katie's house from the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold up. /hold up. Like, what? And then you see Katie there, and then she screams like Micah, and then that's when Micah comes down, and then he runs into Jesse, who's apparently there for some reason. And then so it's like, oh, so that's why she screamed like that at the very end of the movie. But then I'm like, wait, what happened to Jesse and Hector? Because it says, like, you know, the police found Micah's body, so like, why did they only clean up? So they cleaned up Hector's body and hit him, and Jesse fucked off somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Do his own thing.
So,
and of course Katie left, so it's like, it felt very retcon-y.
So, okay, so I thought the same thing, but I rewatched it last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, they go, okay, so basically the Coven takes Jesse at some point. Like, they hit these people with their car, in their car, and then they take Jesse back to their Coven house.
Yeah, okay.
Which is the house from the third movie. And these people do the most realistic ass shit. Like, they're like, we gotta go tell Arturo! And we're all like, Arturo is Oscar's brother,
Right.
Who's in the Mexican gang. So of course, like, I just love that his name is Arturo.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's just, of course, you know, like,
Of course
like that is a very like okay, guys,
That's a hard name.
we got it. You're trying for diversity, you know. So they just, like, it doesn't matter what time it is. They run up to Arturo's house. They're like, they took Jesse. The Coven took Jesse, and they're like, oh, hell no. So they come fucking strapped, dog. They come strapped. And they're like ready to blow away some witches, which is like so fucking funny to me. Because they're clearly not dealing with worldly shit. But still they're like, we gotta come strapped.
Like, what we do, we can. Like I said, like, that's how I handled it. I'm either gonna run in fear, or I'm like, alright, fuck it, let's go. I'm charging in, full force.
Like, we're going in. And like, it's not funny when people get shot and die in movies, but this was really funny. Because, like,
sometimes it's funny.
It's sometimes funny. But they're, like, creeping around this house, and, like, you start to realize, fuck, this is the house from the third movie. And then, like, literally witches, like, dressed in all black. So this is when it kind of gets ridiculous a little bit. They're all just like, they start running at them with knives, screaming like a banshee. And this motherfucker just goes, and then just blows a hole in her. Like, Jesus fuck. Oh my god. And then he turns around, does it to another bitch, and then they're like, run! And then for some reason, they run inside the house, which is like, okay, at that point, I'm like, Jesse can fuck off. I'm running home.
Dude, I don't know, because like that first blast, and I'm like, oh, fuck them, they're done. Click clack, and then just go to the next one. I'm like, all right, where's my boy?
Hey, boom! Where's Jesse?
Like as soon as I know, oh, I have some power here.
They're all in there knitting. They're like, oh fuck, we need to be witches now. That one grandma's still lost.
She's like, have you seen my grandson?
She's like, she thinks that he's Harold. Harold?
Boom!
Boom! Like, dang. So anyway, yeah, so they're like blowing witches away in this house, and I like actually, because like I usually watch these movies as background noise because you can do that, but I actually like got into it and like turned off my light and turned up the volume because I was like, when I was watching some like reviews of this, I was like, there's stuff you can hear if you're actually paying attention. So throughout the house, whenever Hector is walking through, you can actually hear like multiple people around him going, Hector, Hector.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking, like, that kind of redeemed the whole witch thing for me.
Yeah, I would have been a little scared. I would have been back to being scared at that point.
I was like under my covers. Like
I can blast some witches away, but their voices, I'm like, I can't do shit about that.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck, Like, I looked like E.T. in my room, and I was just like watching it, I'm like, they're saying his name. Oh my god. And of course, like, I'm like not in my right mind while I'm watching it, so I'm like, oh no. So, and then, this is also a good representation of how, like, whenever a demon is possessing somebody, they will use, like, parts of yourself that are personal to try to get you to believe them.
Yeah.
And so, like, at one point, Hector is running from Jesse, and he's, like, in this fucking room with just a wardrobe in it, and with, like, weird markings on it. And he, like, tries to open, and he can't. And then Jesse comes up to the door from the other side, and he's, like, knocking on it, and he's just like, Hector, can you open the door? I'm scared. And, like, you can kind of tell, like, it's not really him, because he's like, Hector, I'm scared.
Yeah.
But, like, he resorted back to using his host's voice, which is fucking creepy. And then he's just like, Hector straight up was like, dude, no! He's like, dude, no! You're gonna, like, kill me and shit. And then he goes full demon and just starts breaking down the door. And this is where the time travel comes in. And you're like, what the fuck? So he busts open the wardrobe, the camera does some weird shit, and then all of a sudden, we're at the end of Paranormal Activity 1.
Right.
And that's when, like you said, Katie's coming down the stairs, and she starts screaming in the kitchen. And at first I thought she was screaming because she saw Hector.
Right.
Because that's what it looks like. But if you actually pay attention, and you're like, and like I was terrifyingly paying attention last night, it's like the demon let her scream. Because it's like, she turns and she stares at him for a second, and then she screams. And she's like, Mika, it burns. Mika, help me. And then he runs down, and then he sees Hector. He's like, what the fuck? And he just, like, pushes him. And then Katie goes right back to, like, the stoic-ass, like, she's still screaming, but then she grabs a knife and starts murdering Mika.
Yeah.
And then that's when Hector runs into Jesse, gets murked, and then one of the coven bitches finds the camera and just turns it off.
Yeah.
So now, as a fan of the franchise, I'm sitting at the end of this movie being like,
Well, what the fuck was that?
what? What's going on? So then we're gonna talk about the shit show that is Paranormal Activity 6.
We sure will try.
We sure will try. Because, man, this is the worst. That's probably the worst thing I've watched in a while. The Ghost Dimension. This is just, I really, really hope the directors and writers stretched before they fucking reached this far. Because holy fucking shit.
Stop with the found footage.
Stop.
For the love of God. If you're gonna go off in some weird shit like this, just make it a movie. I promise it's okay.
It would have, like, maybe it would have worked better as a movie, but I just think that the concept was just like muddled and shit anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but like...
But at least I would have been like, I don't have a headache watching it.
And it wouldn't feel like so scripted. This was the one that felt the most scripted. I feel like they didn't have a lot of room for like improvisation in this. Because like everything felt very explainy.
Yeah.
And like at one point, the mom is talking to one of her friends. We're going to get into that too, because I don't know. Okay. She's like talking to one of her friends in the living room. And it's a very good placed security camera where like you can have like an open floor plan of the living room and like see into the kitchen and the Christmas tree, which technically this makes us a Christmas movie. Fun fact. So, yeah. And at one point she just like, they're literally turned towards the camera, but they're just like, it's like literally us. Like this is the fucking thing. And they're just like, yeah, he just thinks there's something in the house, but I just don't believe him. Here we are on camera talking about this naturally. Like, it's a reach.
You're very aware you're watching through like placed cameras and stuff, and it's super annoying.
Yes.
Like, it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, and it goes back into like, at least Dennis was a videographer.
Yeah. And
the kids in the fourth one were teenagers, and then the people in the fifth one, they saved up for a camera. With this one, it's like, okay, well, we're right back at it again with the rich-ass white family and a 3-story tall Christmas tree for no goddamn reason. Like, literally, the Christmas tree reaches to the ceiling, and there's 3 stories in this house.
They really just kind of sprinkled that diversity in there.
They're like, that's enough of that. Onward to our original plot line. Like, okay, and they weren't even mentioned in this movie at all, and that's why I'm like, leave Paranormal Activity 5 alone. That's its own movie.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, so it's just, there was so much of this one that annoyed me.
Yeah. Like, so much. So, like, we have Ryan and I think Emily. They're very forgettable. So, it's like, what the fuck? So, we have Ryan and Emily, and then they have a daughter named Leela. And she's supposed to be the same age as Hunter.
Right. In
the movie. But they actually got the dates wrong in the movie.
They really?
Yeah. The math adds up to her being 6, but she's supposed to be 8.
Nice.
Yeah, so good job, guys. So we have Leela, and then like, so the movie starts out at the end of the third one when Dennis gets his back broken.
Right.
And then we go upstairs, and Paranormal Activity 3 is like, but wait, there's more! And we are introduced to this fucking weirdo with a ponytail for no goddamn reason named Kent.
He looks like a philosophy teacher or professor at like a college.
That would just longboard to class barefoot.
he would like take the class outside, like, we're having outside class today. Why don't you guys talk?
And he just pulls out a dab rig. Starts doing
like
dabs.
That is who is talking to these children.
Yes.
In this coven.
Yeah, and it makes literally no goddamn sense because he's like, first of all, they just watched their parents get fucking murked. We're just gonna ignore that? Like, what the fuck? Like, these kids just watched Dennis do involuntary yoga, and then the mom got her shit rocked and thrown down the stairs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I think based off of the end of the third one, Katie's already possessed at this point because she kind of like lashes out at Dennis with like a ghost face. So Katie's pretty much just far gone. She also has a job at Comic-Cons for the rest of her life. Like, she literally, I saw her in an interview the day, she was like, yeah, I just go to Comic-Cons. I'm like, sick.
Sick, bro.
So, and then they go upstairs and they talk to Kent for some reason, which they never really explain who Kent is. Like, at this point we think that the grandma is the head of the coven.
Right.
Kent is the only male in this coven, which makes no sense. According to, like, the history of covens and cults and stuff, covens are usually primarily female.
Right.
And, who is Kent?
See, I just assumed he was like another firstborn male and like he's just there to like pass his wisdom.
Yeah, maybe that's it too. But once again, we're left up to figure it out by our fucking selves. Thanks, Paranormal Activity 6.
Because that's like the last you see of him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
So I just assume like that's why they need Hunter. They're like, this ponytail ass motherfucker.
He's getting too old.
We need another one.
Right.
So I just assume that's why they need Hunter, and like I just assume he's gonna pass his knowledge to Hunter, and Hunter's like Gather around, children.
Yeah, gather around, children. But like, it doesn't. Anyway, so there's so many ways we can get off track with talking about this movie because this movie doesn't stay on track. But like, so Kent is like, Christy, you're going to bear us a son one day, and Katie, you're here because of your strength. How the leave Katie alone? You know, if you really just need Christy. Like, really leave Christy alone, too. But, like, if you really need Christy, why the fuck are you possessing Katie? Leave her alone. Like,
well,
you just killed her
the
family.
Muscle and then, like, the package. And then, like, so you got the package and the security.
Okay, that's true. Man, so basically Katie and Christy's whole thing is just, like, hey, grow up, find some motherfucker. I know they're gonna die in the process, but it's fine. It's muddled. We'll figure it out. We'll leave the bodies for the police to find.
Like, they don't have to. They can leave.
But just find some motherfucker to give you a child, and then we can just go from there. Like, that's pretty much the cult's plan.
Yeah.
And so we started. So it ties in. So then we're introduced to Ryan and Emily and Leela, and then Ryan's brother Mike is like going through a divorce or a breakup or something.
Oh yeah.
And he comes over and we're introduced to Uncle Mike, and Uncle Mike makes sense. Like, he has a breakup mustache going on. Yeah. He's sad. Like he goes and makes Christmas cards with Leela, and then he made a Christmas card that's like, "Merry Christmas, you bitch." Like, he shows it on the camera. So, like, you know,
been there.
Relatable. Mike is my favorite character of the entire movie.
He's the most real.
He's the most real. And then we're introduced to this random bitch who they never explain who she is. Her name is Skylar.
Oh, yeah.
Who is she? She's not the mom's sister. She's not Leela's nanny. She's just kind of like...
There. She just shows up.
Like, she's just there with, like, wearing a cardigan 24/7. Like, because she's, like, the yoga character who never does yoga at all in the movie. Like, she's just... You can tell she's yoga because she's wearing a cardigan and shorts. Like, what the fuck, Skylar? Who are you? Get out of here. And when I was re-listening to Dead Meat's podcast about this movie, they were watching this movie and they thought that in the middle of the movie they were going to be like, "Do you know Skylar?" They're like, "I thought she was your friend." And then Skylar would have been a part of the Coven. Right. Which would have been a better movie.
It would have made sense. But instead, it was just like, "What's Skylar?"
Skylar's
we accept
here.
that.
She's like, "Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, it's Skylar. Welcome back to my channel." Like, that's Skylar. God. But anyway, so Skylar's there, and I think she's just there to be like an extra love interest for Mike.
Yeah. They have some funny interactions though.
They do, because at one point he thinks that he's gonna like smash.
Yeah.
And they're in the backyard, and she's like, "Go get some wine," and then same reaction. He goes, "Oh, are you serious?"
He goes, "Oh shit, is this happening?"
And
wait, I left my condom upstairs.
And he just goes, "Oh, what kind of wine?" And he just like, "White, red, cabaret," and she's like, "Isn't that singing?" And he just goes, and she goes, "To see if they have rosé. Like, these people have a fucking wine cellar or something. Like, are you an alcoholic? Do you collect wine? Who has this many options of wine in their house at a time unless they're like 21 years old?" Oh shit. And in a frat.
You hit it on the head with the alcoholic thing.
God damn it.
You're sitting here like, "Who has this?" I'm like, "Oh,
you're like,
no, yeah, what kind of fucking person?"
That's what you should have been like,
Oh no.
Anyway, so yeah, and like at one point he comes back and he just says so nerdy, like, I love Mike so much. He like has the bottle of wine and 2 wine glasses, and he just comes back and he's like, "I got the vino," and I'm like,
dude, I feel for that man so much, because that's me. Anytime.
Like, "I got the vino," and it just seems like it was something that you would say and then immediately be like, "Why the fuck did I say that?"
Dude. I hate it because it's still me, and that's just something you don't grow out of. You either learn to accept or you're always embarrassed by it. Because I'll say something like that and then I'll just look him in the eye and be like, "I know what I said and I'm not apologizing." That's saying, kids, Own it. Own your awkwardness. That's the
We
only way
can
you're
still do this if you want, but I know what I said. I got the vino.
You heard me.
You heard me. You know what vino means.
It's a thing.
Just drink it and let's have a good time.
I felt for this guy because I'm like, yeah, Mike, you do got that vino.
Get that vino and that breakup mustache. So they're outside and it's creepy, and then like Leela, for some reason, is like in the backyard burying a rosary. Go back inside. It's like midnight. What are you doing out here? And so then it starts to get into like, that's when they find, they found the camera before this. Let's explain this ghost camera.
That was. What's the word?
How do you feel?
Stupid?
Unnecessary as fuck.
Fucking dumb? Are you stupid or are you dumb?
Are you stupid or are you dumb?
Like, we got this ghost camera. I'm like, really now? That's
Really?
convenient as fuck.
And also, it's funny because like it's not even the camera. So like at first, whenever I watched this movie in theaters, which like this movie came out in 2015, the same year as my parents' divorce, so like I was already going through it. Can you not
It came out in
release?
2018.
No, it came out in 2015.
Ghost Dimension?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so because I remember, because I was having a shit year,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, Paranormal Activity, just 5 or 6 had to be shit too.
Give me something.
Give me something, 2015, Jesus. But anyway, like when I saw it in theaters, I remember thinking, okay, well, that's kind of a reach if it's the same camera that Dennis used because it didn't see ghosts back then.
Yeah, see, I thought it was the same camera because it looked the same.
So, okay, so I'm kind of going to jump ahead a little bit because the plot twist of this movie is that this whole family was kind of like set up.
Right.
So, Katie was like their realtor.
Yeah.
And she sold them this house. And this house that they're living in was built on top of the house from the third movie, which apparently burned down.
Right.
So...
The picture.
Yeah, the picture. And so, that's why... I lost my train of thought again. I smoked too much.
Because...
Jesus
well, that's
Christ.
like why they were specifically brought to that house to...
Yeah.
For Leela, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because Leela was born on Hunter's birthday, which is June 6th, 2005, actually. So they tried to do a 666 thing, which technically works because 2005 is the 6th year in the 2000s. But you could have made it 2006. You could have. Like, it would have been way more scarier if, like, on paper it was 666, not 665. You know what I mean?
And that's that just feels like
a cheat.
It just feels like them trying to be like, oh well, it's the 6. It's only like intelligent people will get it. Like that's so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just you're stupid.
You're stupid and you're trying too hard. And so, so like Leela was born on Hunter's birthday, so that's why Katie sold them this house, planted like the tapes from the third movie in there for I don't get why. Like, did they want to set them up or have them discover them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really... Yes!
Yes.
And so, that's whenever, like... And so, whenever they find these tapes, they find this camera, which they later explain in the movie that it's custom built. So, like, cameras in the 80s had these, like... I don't really know what I'm talking about, so just bear with me. I'm just going based off what the movie said. There's supposed to be like 1 tube in there for something, but this had 3.
Right.
So that's why it can see paranormal
It's the ghost
shit.
tube.
Yeah, the very common ghost tube that you can go grab at your local Best Buy.
Gotta ask for it.
Gotta ask for it. It's behind the counter. And so that's why this camera can see ghosts, which if you're confused, so are we. So just bear with us.
Also, which is more, this is just me being an asshole. Cameras back then did not have night vision.
No, they didn't.
The second they threw it out, I went, wait, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
I let the ghost thing go, but as somebody who works with cameras, I went, hold up.
This is where I draw the line.
This is wrong. Do you know how fucking expensive that camera would have been if it did have night vision? Some fucking weird ass family is not gonna have this old ass 80s camera with night vision.
And also, Dennis did not make that camera because he, like I said, he would have seen the shit through the camera. But like, what the like? It just doesn't make any sense because, and also like, who built the camera enough to where they can put the extra ghost tubes and add modern ass technology to it?
That's not right.
That's not how this works. And also, like, as James and Chelsea said in their podcast, they said that it looks like so this is also the first time you kind of see Toby, and he looks like the symbiote from Spider-Man 3. Like, what are you doing? And James and Chelsea in their podcast said that it looks like something that you would send to a studio to say, hey, I can make particles in CGI. Which is like so fucking accurate.
Yeah, it is.
And these people in this movie they're so nonchalant about it. Like at first, because he sets up the ghost camera in his daughter's room for no goddamn reason. Like, no reason. Like, there's nothing haunted going on. They just decided to set up the ghost camera on the side of her bed and then a real camera in front of her bed. So you get two perspectives of Leela's bed, which, weird. Okay? And then at one point, Toby just, like, fucking materializes, like, by her bed and pulls a Katie and is just like, and he's making weird noise. He's like,
easy.
Like, we get it. This is the ghost dimension. We don't have to make ghost noises. And then, so, like, you get this perspective of Leela talking about... she's like, yeah, I don't know. And then Toby's over here just... like, it just switches back and forth from camera to camera. And then a normal parent would be like, what the fuck is this shit? But the dad just goes, hey, honey, I saw something weird in your room last night.
What was that?
What was that? And she's like, oh, that's Toby. And he's just like, okay.
Also, okay, I call him Tobias because Toby's the dumbest fucking name for a demon. Like, I get it, like, you want to, like, oh, I gotta get these kids, like, but they never, like, you would think at the end they'd be like, oh, my real name's, like, Athumala or something, but they're like, what up? It's your boy.
It's your boy.
Toby. So at least Tobias sounds like...
What up? It's your boy again, Toby. Don't forget to grab that Toby merch in the description. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe. And, like, Toby just, at this point, just feels like such a cartoon character. Like... I
mean, he really is kind of like an influencer. It's like the more attention he gets, the bigger and stronger he gets.
Yeah.
It's all an analogy. For online influencers. I figured out Paranormal Activity. There it is.
Oh my god, that's it. Shit. Oh, we can stop the video now.
Some executive right now is going that.
God damn.
Motherfucker.
They know too much.
He figured it out.
But anyway, yeah, so Toby also looks like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy movies too. I don't really know what Toby's doing, and I don't think Toby knows what he's doing in this movie.
He's like, I don't know, man. I was summoned by some weird-ass grandma's... Dude, I don't fucking know. He's just there.
What if Toby's, like, the wrong demon, and, like, like they really meant to, like, summon Athumala? But Toby's just like, yep, that's me. I'm that guy. He's, like, the demon in hell that doesn't do shit, and he accidentally gets summoned, and he's just like, oh, fuck. I guess I'm here now. I guess this is what I have.
It's like the real demon's like, hey, watch this for me. Don't touch anything. It's like, you got it. Summon. Oh no. Shit. Yeah, that's me.
I want to see those movies. I want to see like a Harold and Kumar style Paranormal Activity movie where it's Athumala and Toby and...
I want Paranormal Activity 7, Toby and Athumala go to Earth.
That's what I need. Like, that's
the only way to save this franchise.
That's it. So...
Is make it a bloody comedy.
Jason Blum. My email's gonna be in the description.
I will watch this movie 100 times in one day if that's the movie.
That's Kung Fury style of, like, gold. That's yeah.
I need this.
God. But anyway, I miss Kung Fury. That was a good movie. I liked that movie.
Simpler times.
Simpler times. This one, I think, is also the worst portrayal. Like, we've been roasting it for the past 20 minutes. It's the worst portrayal of Paranormal Activity, like actual Paranormal Activity of all time. Like, this is just purely fiction at this point.
Yeah.
It's just...
Which, again, just make it a fucking movie. Stop with the fucking found footage shit.
If you're not going to try to make it realistic, don't put it in found footage. Like, just don't.
Yeah, that's why it worked for the first one so well, is it felt so real, and, like, just the more it went on, it's just like, okay, this just feels more and more like a movie.
Yeah.
Just make it a damn movie.
Yeah, just make it a fucking movie at this point. Like, you're kind of just, like... Like, I felt like my time was wasted in the sixth one. Like, I remember getting out of the theater, like, I remember going to the movie excited because I was like, Ghost Dimension, what the fuck? Like, the cover was like this bitch ass girl just like looking into a hole in her wall, and like you could see the silhouette of childhood Katie and Christy. Yeah. And I was hooked. And then I got out of the theater and I was just like really confused of how I should have felt. I was like, did I like that? Or was that a shit show? Like, I really don't understand what just happened.
Yeah.
It was so strange. It was the weirdest. It was so weird.
I'm glad I didn't go to a theater to see that one.
Yeah. You should be. But, and, oh my god, and then on top of that, I went to go see it with my roommate, and, like, right before that, her fiance broke up with her.
Oh no!
And she showed up without the ring on, like literally.
No.
Like literally, we were meeting at the theater for me getting off work, and she was like, "He broke up with me over Skype." And
my god!
And I was like, Skype. And then I was like, it's okay, we'll see this movie and it'll be good. And then the movie wasn't good, so like, my parents are getting divorced. Her fiance broke up with her. Paranormal Activity 6 sucked. 2015 was the worst year. Like, fuck. That was the worst year.
Damn.
But yeah, like, going into the whole firstborn son thing, that just becomes completely obsolete in this. Like,
yeah.
It would have made more sense if Leela was, like, their son.
Right.
You know? Would have made way more sense than her being born on his fucking birthday.
A lot of people were born on the day, I'm sure.
Somebody else born on June 6, 2005 is like, fuck, dude.
That could have been.
I'm next. Mom, check the history of the house. Did that realtor work for that company? Holy shit.
This bitch.
Yeah, like, man. And so, like, that just becomes completely obsolete. And
I feel like they have a story they really want to tell, and they're just not sure how to do it. Because they're like, they keep putting shit in and forgetting shit. Again, it's like they're turning the paragraph one at a time. They're like, I want to tell this story.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how to get there.
And you know why?
I'm really trying.
The sixth movie had 4 different writers.
You can't do that.
You can't
You can't do that.
Like, us being in production and shit, you absolutely cannot fucking do that. Like, even when I shared this Google Doc with you, I was like, you can add whatever you want to it, but I've never even done that with anybody before. I just did that because I fucking trust you, because you know what you're doing. But, like, this is not a group project. This is a college group project. That's what Paranormal Activity 6 was.
And you know the best college group projects? When one person does all the work.
Exactly. So, and that one person was Jason Blum, just like, all right, here's a fucking another one. Because they always did great marketing for these movies.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it.
As far as the greatness goes.
Yeah, that's as far as the greatness goes for the 6th movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And then towards the end,
more time travel.
Coven's back. Yeah. More time travel. Like, for some reason, Hunter is stuck in 1994 or 2.
I thought, yeah, 1992.
1992. Like, they got him and then took him to 1982 so he could hang out with Kent, I guess.
Yeah, see? So he could mentor him.
And then, but like, wouldn't he run into like his mom as a child?
Yeah.
So why is adult Katie still...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got, man. Don't know.
So it's just like... Okay, like, Hunter never crossed paths with his mom as a child, and child Katie never crossed paths with adult Katie, but somehow they're still involved because there's time travel, and it's just like, what's happening? And then I think they finally do actually summon Toby, and all you really see of this motherfucker is his legs.
So, okay, I thought the whole point of Hunter was that Toby was gonna possess Hunter when he was 18.
Yes.
So whose foot is that? It's Toby. Like I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. That's Toby.
That's Toby.
So is that grown-up Hunter? Are we gonna learn more about that? Why bring him back in time? Why not bring the other guy forward in time?
What special powers? Because, like, at this point, what is Hunter...
Also, why does he need a physical body? He can do a whole lot as a fucking...
Now you have to pay
symbiote.
bills.
Yeah.
Now you have to find a place to live and pay
eat and
bills.
shit.
You're way better off as a symbiote from Spider-Man 3.
I'd rather be just an entity.
Like,
he can pick shit up and move shit.
Like, leave a comment if you'd rather be an entity than a real life person. Because, holy shit, like, this sucks. Like, why would you go from being a cool entity where you can only show up on, like, a ghost camera to this... He looked cold. Like, he was shaking. Like, his legs
he got the body, he was like, whoa, what the fuck?
He was like, oh, fuck, they did it.
What is heat? Ah, fuck's hot.
What's this? and then he just, first move he does, he just kills Leela's mom. And then, like, also, what is Hunter even used for again? Because now Toby has a physical body, and baby Christy was used so that she could have Hunter in the future.
Right.
So that was her purpose. Katie is strong as fuck, I guess. And then now they have Hunter, brought him back to 1992. What is he even there for? Like, maybe Kent is making him gonna be the next Kent.
Yeah.
But clearly Toby doesn't need him. So, like, Toby's a goddamn liar. Like, you just fucked with this girl's lives for no goddamn reason. You could have done this a long time ago. Like
I said, I know there's a story there somewhere.
it's there.
It's there, and
It's there.
hoping whatever the next movie is that I didn't even know there's gonna be another one.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll wrap it all up there. For the love of God! I don't want another found footage movie. There's no reason. There's nothing. There's not a damn thing. No story, no setup that they can probably like,
Yes.
yeah, it was worth doing it like this. Nothing. There's no point.
Yeah.
Just make it a fucking movie. There's nothing. No reason that you can give me that I'll be like, yeah, that's what they should.
That's it.
It's better found footage.
There's nothing. If you have a reason, come at me with like a PowerPoint presentation or a prezi.
I want a thesis.
I want
over why.
Yes,
it
I
should
need
be
a
found
persuasive essay from everybody involved of why this should be a found footage movie, because it's stupid.
I promise you, it's not gonna make it better.
It's not. It's really not. Overall, I enjoyed the franchise. I just think that it's interesting how they tied it together. Like I said, there's a story. Like you said, there's a story there. They're trying, but I'm a fan of these movies. I really couldn't specifically tell you why. I just kind of like, if I could give you some type of reason, I like the story, and even though it gets kind of ridiculous, you're still kind of like, what the fuck's gonna happen next? Like, overall, I would give this franchise 4 stars on a generous day out of 5. But like if I rewatch them, 4 stars out of 5. But if on a regular day, probably 3 stars.
I was gonna say like 3 stars or like 6 out of 10. Like,
Yeah.
Just because the first 3 were pretty strong.
Yeah.
The first 2 were really strong.
I love how you backtrack.
Yeah. Well, it was
First
like again the third
first
one was
2.
like. Well, the first one was really strong.
Yeah, the first one was like really good.
The first one sets a high bar, I think, is the problem, and then it's just like they all kind of miss it, and then the marked ones I thought did really good, and then they're just like fuck it with the 6th. I'm like,
Fuck it.
I don't know, man. We'll figure something out.
Yep. Like, man, I will say that the 3rd and the 5th one are my favorites. Like, of all of them, the 3rd and the 5th one did the best. Besides the first one, obviously. Like, the first one's implied. It's the best one. But of the rest of them, I think 5 is the strongest. Just because of the diversity, like we said. But, they're doing a soft reboot / continuation. And production was supposed to start late this year.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. But like everything else, including Halloween Kills, which I'm very sad about, it's been delayed. They haven't even started shooting it yet. They're still kind of like writing it. Which, take all the fucking time you guys need to write this. because I'm a loyal fan and I want this to be done right. Like, if you're gonna come at me with another, like, rich-ass white family, I don't want it. I don't want it. Let's switch it up. I'll definitely still go see it. Don't get me wrong. But...
You know, the fifth one proves why you can't do it, like, in the hood. Because they're just like, well, fuck this, and they just strap up and they go charging in.
That's true. But, like I said, the most realistic. Because, like, what would you do? Like, if someone, like, stole your fucking boy, and you know it's a witch coven, and the police aren't gonna believe
and I have access to a lot of weapons, yeah, fuck it. I'm strapping up and grabbing the homies and we're going.
Yeah. Hawk's the driver. Hawk is the driver. I love him. So Hawk is our friend from high school, who I have never stopped calling Hawk.
Who's not been called that in a long time.
Hi.
Hey.
You'll probably never watch this, but hello. I still call you Hawk. But yeah, so they haven't really released a lot of details about this new movie yet, except that it will be a continuation / reboot.
What does that mean?
Because isn't that technically the fourth one and the fifth one?
I guess.
Yeah, like, it's brand new ass people, and then they're like, midway through, they're like, oh fuck, this does connect.
He's writing it out. He's like, and then they ran into Katie. Oh shit. Oh god.
What if the writer is just like cursed to write the same script over and over again? And so, like, no matter what script he writes, it always just turns into Paranormal Activity 1.
I think that's what it is they're like, you did a really great job with that first one, so just keep doing that. And in his mind, he's just like, so keep writing that. Got it. And he writes it all out, and they're like, no, we gotta change some stuff, man. So that's why there's 4 writers.
Yeah, because they're like, okay.
Because the first one is just, it just writes out Paranormal Activity 1 every time.
What if he doesn't know there's 3 other writers?
He turns and is like, I got you another one here, boss. He's like, thanks, man. Hey, you want to edit this?
Thanks. Please take this from me. And then it's like still like the intern that's someone's cousin that they're just like, I don't care what you do with it. Just fucking...
Just change it somehow.
Change it somehow, but still kind of make it like the first one. But yeah, I really don't know what they're going to do with it. I've been getting all my updates from Chris Parker at 3C Film Review, and he's pretty quick. Like yesterday in the like 8 a.m. they announced like the details of Scream 5 and like the characters and like what's going on. And within like 30 fucking minutes, this motherfucker had a video like edited and up and ready to go, and I was like, Jesus, you're quick.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I don't hear from him, essentially I don't really believe it. So if you want more Paranormal Activity content and updates faster than me, because of who I am as a person, go subscribe to Chris's channel because he's on top of it. But I'm excited for it just because I like the series. I don't really know how it's going to go. It's going to be a toss-up.
My expectations are so low at this point that you know what, I'm going to love it, whatever it is probably. So if it's better than Ghost of Man, if it makes sense, I'll love it.
Damn. Just makes sense. That's where your fans are at now.
Is don't make it fan footage, just make it make sense. That's all I want.
That's it. Like, for the love of God. Okay, well, Albert, thanks for being here. I really appreciate your insight. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you're doing?
No. Dude, 2020's got me dead. I'm not doing a damn thing right now. Ask me again in like 6 months. I'm sure I'll be working on something by then.
Okay, like, do you want people to follow you?
Yeah, go follow me on Instagram. We'll post it.
You don't even know your...
No, it's BeartoeKC, because that was my radio name. It's there. She'll post it.
I'll post it. I'll put it somewhere. You can't even see my hands because my laptop is in the way. Okay, well for now, just follow Albert on Instagram. Longtime friend, great guy, has a cool jeans jacket.
Be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next video. If you use that as the outro, I'm never talking to you again.
Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.